Hello and welcome. You're watching the FIFA World Cup special brought to you by Dafa News. Well, this World Cup has been unique, full of upsets, frustrations, brawls and rants. It started with Messi, who was upset with refereeing in their win over Argentina. A part of his complaint was the fact that an extra minute was allowed in which the Dutch scored their equalizer, and then it was Portugal's Pepe who didn't take Morocco's knocking them out well. Pepe, in fact, on the Argentinian referee, he made a very snarky comment that the World Cup can be handed over to Messi and to the Argentinians without even fighting for any semi-final and final. Now, then English commentator and pundit Gary Neville and players like Jude Bellingham took to refereeing again, and they lost to the France in their quarter-final match. So it's been a sore thumb for the players, the watchers, the pundits, and more so with the team management. Well, we have a special presentation today. We take deep dive into this contentious issue of football FIFA World Cup plaguing this year's edition. Well, joining us is Ranjit Bajaj, the owner of Minerva Punjab FC. Welcome to the show, Ranjit.
Good morning. Yes, very good to be here. And looking forward now to the big ones coming forward. And now, like you said, big controversy.
Yes.
Big controversy, and rightfully so. Because I don't remember the last time I saw a match which had 18 yellow cards.
Yes.
So
coming back, let's take a step back. We've seen and we've heard the teams that lose out are on the losing end. But what about the winners as well, and the pundits and everybody? There is a surround sound which says that, hey, this World Cup is marred by controversy of substandard refereeing, the VAR, the technology and favoritism. Would you subscribe to it?
I would subscribe to it in some ways. See,
yes.
The world still has to get used to VAR.
Yes.
And for example, when I saw that goal which Japan scored in the last minute, I mean, to the naked eye, it looked like there was clear daylight between the white line, the last outline, white line, and the ball.
That's correct.
But somehow, according to VAR, the entire ball would have crossed the line. So for me, as a layman, entire ball did cross the line. But what they do is they look at it from the top view. So because the ball is circular, when you look at it from the top, even though the ball quickly crossed the line from the side, from the top you see that the circumference, there is some part of the ball still there.
Yes.
So that took me a while to understand.
Well, that was a very technical understanding and a very physics-driven explanation. But what about players like Cavani, who doesn't lose his cool enough? And here you see a situation where he's actually chasing down in their match against Ghana to the referee and trying to hold them on to ransom. Your views on the Uruguay-Ghana match?
I would say that not only the Uruguay-Ghana match, we saw the same thing happen in the Brazil match. And like the English commentators were saying, they were right. The standards, and not only the standard, but the very difficult to, put an Argentinian referee in a Brazil match. That also a World Cup knockout match. I mean, that's like putting a Pakistan, I'm being honest, that's like putting a Pakistan referee in an India cricket match in the final of the World Cup. And if anything goes wrong, nobody would think that it's a mistake. Everybody would think that the guy has done it on purpose. So to keep clear of these kind of controversies, you have to be like Caesar's wife. The referee has to be like Caesar's wife. They have to be above suspicion, above any kind of suspicion at all.
Well, that's a nice expression you've used, and especially we're talking about the Morocco-Portugal match. Also, there have been 5 Argentinian staff. The referee, Fernando Tello, then Ezequiel, again from Argentina. You had the assistant referee also from Argentina. Also the VAR.
VAR guy. Even the VAR guy.
VAR guy was also an Argentinian, and also the offside VAR. So in a team of around 8 odd people, you have 5 Argentinians taking care of that match. I mean, does it defy FIFA logic?
It does, because it's not, see, you might keep on saying that don't look at the countries they're coming from, be very, very be very factual and logical.
Yes.
But that doesn't happen in football. There's nothing known as being logical. In football, everybody plays from the heart. So when you have a chance in a World Cup final or World Cup quarterfinal or semi-final, you don't even want to think about it that, what if this Argentinian referee doesn't go my way? You shouldn't be thinking about these things. Why? Because the referee should be from some country which have got nothing to do with both the countries which are playing that day.
Absolutely.
That means totally above suspicion, so that is totally fair. That's the whole point of being a referee. You need to be having a referee. You need to have a referee who, if the whole world knows, the whole world respects, and the whole world knows is untouchable or uncorruptible or unfallible.
Absolutely. You just said it right. Let's take a step back and look at the number of yellow cards that have come. Mostly right, some on the borderline, but few have caused a lot of grief to the players. Your view on the yellow cards?
Yeah, I would say that you are so right, because 18 yellow cards in a match. See, the FIFA rules say that the moment there are more than 5 yellow cards for one team in one match, automatically disciplinary sanctions apply.
Right.
That means, suppose in any match, any team for some reason gets more than 5 yellow cards, that means they've had a very horrible and ill-tempered and not technically right. That means they were fouling everybody all the time, or they were going against the rules all the time.
Right.
When you have 18 yellow cards, that means, see, that's 9 aside. That means both the entire teams have got the yellow cards. That means what? Yes, it could have been a bad-tempered match, but second, it was a very badly controlled match. He could have done a very good job, because I could see the whistles happening after every stop, because right in the beginning, he didn't take control of the match. Instead of giving 18 yellow cards, out of which I think 12 of 13, 14 were in the second half and extra time, if he had given the right yellow cards in the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the match, that's what you do. You control the match there. You tell them that we're not going to be taking any nonsense. But if you let it go on for half an hour or 1 hour, and then you see the 20 minutes left and the World Cup is going to be decided, people don't care about yellow cards. They're going to go and get you. Right. But you need to control these matches right from the beginning.
Ranjit, now, important point. I'm going to just hold you there, because you've just come on to a very crucial part, and we're going to explain our viewers how a referee controls the match. For example, yesterday, an important point came up that after every move that Portugal was making, the referee would come and stop the game. How does it impact the team which is actually trailing? Important point.
Oh, so it's a huge thing.
Yes.
See, the entire game of football is about momentum.
Yes.
It's all about momentum. So what do you do? So when you say game management to me, what does for me game management mean? For me, that I'm winning 1-0 and I've got 5 minutes to go.
Right.
So what do I do as a coach? Game management means I tell all my coaches, and see, people may not like it, but that's what it is. I will tell all my players to take as much time on outfield throws, on free kicks, on getting fouls or giving fouls, taking the ball to the corner and disrupting their play. That means not letting them have more than 10 or 20 seconds of possession together, because that will give them momentum, that will give them forward momentum, and that's what we don't want. So now if you keep on breaking up their play after every 10 seconds, after 20 seconds, they don't get that momentum. That's what game management is. So what this referee did was that he managed the game for Morocco, because that's exactly what Morocco wanted. Morocco wanted the game to be stopped after every 10 seconds. Because if you let Portugal get into the play, the flow of the game, with people like Bruno Fernandes, with people like Zhao, people like Ronaldo coming in, and he knew that this was going to be his last World Cup and he was going to give his life for it, there was definitely a chance that Portugal would have equalized.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where there is an unspoken rule where the top players, the elite players are kind of covered in the insurance pact. Here, the smaller players were actually tackling, and rather rough tackles to the big players, including Messi's, the Ronaldos, and there was, including Harry Kane. What happened to Harry Kane was a classic example. Your views on it?
I really think that football should not be turned into a wrestling match. In fact, the more we allow this to happen, the more kids and parents will not want their people to go into this game.
Right.
So from the very beginning, why are dangerous tackles and fouls not allowed? Because it's against the spirit of the game.
Right.
Yes, I know still happens, but if you let your best players in the world, for example, Messi, or
Yes.
for example, Kane. Now imagine we are going to be, suppose Messi was that badly injured, there was going to be Argentina semi-final, but there's no Messi. Yes, the whole world would be devastated. Why? And Argentina would be devastated. Why? Because somebody's given a bad tackle to Messi. Why? Because they can't control him otherwise. So we've got to have more stringent rules where this is concerned, where they target players with unnecessary fouls and tackles to stop the flow of the game. And now with VAR coming in, I think we need to work more towards letting the flow of the game happen and not stop it again and again, because that's what destroys the entire thing.
You spoke about Messi and the entire tackle and the bad tackle, especially from the Dutch players, considering that they're tall, lanky, and they're aggressive players. Do you think, do you justify the way things happened on the field, the skirmish and the entire problems that you
see? I have never seen, honestly speaking, I've never seen Messi be so vocal and so angry about it, even after the match.
in the press conference.
I've heard it, I mean, Messi is a person who's so calm, who
Yes.
does not speak, who especially does not question authority, ever.
Yes.
So when you see him coming after the match and saying that, I don't think this, I know we're not supposed to speak against the referee,
Right.
but I think this referee was what he did was not right, and what he did was almost going to cost us the World Cup and my entire life. You have to sit up and take notice, because it's the best player in the world saying that. See, when players go and complain about referees and you say, do not complain about them, you can't talk about them, that's like being in a dictatorship, man.
Right.
That's like being in a place where the country's general is telling you cannot speak or you will be banned or basically killed.
Absolutely.
Same way in football, you have to have a mechanism where players can go openly and complain. What's the harm? Now, if this happens, referees will make sure that their performances will not affect such matches, or they'll prepare better. Because if this referee had even this much sense, he would specially take care of Messi. Why?
Right.
Because he knows that the only way, looking at it, of Holland being Holland, Netherlands, Dutch being able to stop Argentina, the only one way is if they stop Messi. And they tried their best. And when they could not do it in the footballing terms, that means just covering his passes and
They got under his skin.
They went under his skin, they tackled him, they kept on giving him niggling fouls, and they made him lose his cool. But what happened there was, I think Messi kicked up again.
Yes.
So there are some players who you niggle, who you keep on doing all this to, and their performance will go down. There's some great players who take their performance a notch above. So some players I don't think you should poke. And Messi is one of the players you should not poke and make him angry, because he's good enough without being angry. Imagine if you have an angry Messi.
Well, as we speak, Ranjit, we've got some breaking news. You have Fernando Tello will no longer referee the World Cup matches. The same guy who managed the Portugal-Morocco match, he returns home. Lazo was criticized by Messi and the Argentinian players, is also out. And also out is the Argentinian Raffaellini, who's been removed from it. So as we speak and take this discussion forward, we've got some more breaking news coming from Qatar. Now, we've discussed this. We've discussed this contentious issue, and I'm so glad that we spoke on this particular part about how the referees can manage or influence the game. Let's move on from here to the next three important games. How do you think Morocco will play, considering that they are a little rough, they're aggressive, and they're out to rewrite history in the African and the Arab world? Your views on it, Ranjit?
I really think we have a cracker of a match coming up, but sadly, and I say this with, I really want Morocco to win, because it opens up a lot of doors for countries like India. That means people who've never been there, done that. Yes, if they can do it, we can do it. But sadly, what happened with Morocco is that, yes, they overperformed, yes, but while doing that, they have used up most of their players. So what happened in the last match was that their entire playing 11, in fact, actually it was a playing 12. So their 12 boys played the first 4 matches.
Yes.
They were and whereas all other teams, for example, England or for example, France, they've used over 22 players in the entire tournament.
Right.
Whereas these people had only used 12. And the back 4 of Morocco yesterday, where that's what I started getting jitters that, Morocco might lose it to Portugal. Out of the back 4, three got injured. The two centre halves, that means the centre backs,
Yes.
and the left back, he got out. Then their two boys in the middle, their main captain, the midfielder, the DM, he also got out. So they were all injured. So four people in the last 20 minutes, when it was the most pressure situation what these boys would have ever played in, these four young boys come in and take up the mantle of these stalwarts who have been playing for the last so many matches and have made them create history. They've come in. But now the thing is, will they be able to do this for another match? Because now they have no bench strength at all. Their entire bench is there, and it's not the front line. See, for a coach, if you tell me that I want to change my forward line, I'll be more comfortable. But if you tell me that you want to change three of my back four who have done so well and made sure Morocco has not conceded any goals throughout the tournament, and then right in the end, before the biggest match.
Well, Ranjit, I'm going to hold you there. It's an important factor, but the question is, will they play rough?
Yes, definitely. Because see, now the quality of Morocco has even gone further down. Why? Because the best players are out.
Absolutely.
So for making sure that they are playing on the same level as the other team, again, you'll see niggling fouls, you'll see time wasting.
Right.
You will see making sure that the entire game is played in the other half. And if it requires the low block of Morocco in the last 10 minutes where you saw 6+4 in this much of a distance.
Well, we just have 30 seconds right now. Ranjit, your thoughts. What is going to be the semi-final and the final looking? What is going to be the score for you?
I would say that, Garant, I would say that I would really want my heart and my brain or both say that Argentina should win. And then from the other side, we should have France coming in and we should have a France versus Argentina final. And that's what my prediction is.
Brilliant. That's all we had time for. Thank you, Ranjit, as we spoke about the contentious issue of VAR, refereeing, and a whole lot of things that it brings. I mean, it's a sore thumb. But anyways, keep watching NewsX for more news, views, and updates. This is Sunil Yashkalra signing off on the Footcast special edition. Thank you.